It was a beautiful warm morning. Sunlight shone through the window, basking Arya's face. But she felt oddly cold. In just a few hours, she was to face her greatest fear, her blood report. A mere piece of paper was to decide the entire course of her life, or dreadfully enough, her death. For she had been trapped in the malignant clutches of leukemia. Chemotherapy was instituted, but initial recovery was followed by devastation. The drug administered had a propensity of causing cardiac morbidities in some, in whom remains the question. A frail little girl took her last breath, embraced by the malicious demon of death, her life claimed by an adverse drug reaction. But what if we could have only known of this interaction? What if we could have saved her life? If only her healthcare was personalized. Ladies and gentlemen, we, the students of Lokmanya Tilak Municipal Medical College, proudly present personalized healthcare for each his own.
You are one of a kind. 1 in 7.6 billion. The roots of divergence running far deeper than conventional physical attributes. Predisposition to diseases, tolerance, and variation in responses to medication are the submerged icebergs in the uncharted seas of uniqueness.
Personalized healthcare is the tailoring of medical treatment to cater to the individual characteristics, needs, and preferences of a patient during every step of healthcare. The story of personalized medicine begins with a unique set of genes within each one of us.
Which medication will work for one but harm another is a dilemma for the medical fraternity, for which we propose an ideal yet attainable solution. Our genome is like a voluminous book containing the chronicles of our lives. Sequencing it is like reading it, word by word, scrutinizing it for mutations, potential drug targets, drug-gene interactions, and a multitude of other factors, which sadly are often overlooked.
The FDA defines pharmacogenomics as the science that allows us to predict a response to drugs based on an individual's genetic makeup.
The plethora of infectious diseases in India can now be countered using pharmacogenomics. 8% of HIV patients having HLA-B gene mutations, when treated with abacavir, experience hypersensitivity reactions. In tuberculosis, evaluating bacterial DNA for antibiotic resistance can save MDR-TB patients from the doom of trial and error.
Our different capacities to metabolize drugs due to genetic variations make it necessary to modify the doses or change the line of therapy. Today, 75% of cancer patients, 70% of Alzheimer's patients, and 43% diabetic patients are not responsive to the drugs they are initially prescribed. Analyzing a patient's genome can reveal the secrets to augment drug efficacy.
The elixir of life proves to be the harbinger of death for thousands in the form of lethal idiosyncratic reactions. Across this chasm of ineffective treatment and adverse drug reactions lies the bridge of pharmacogenomics to lead us into the world of personalized healthcare.
Preventive genomics, a pivotal branch of personalized healthcare, can shield us from various adversities that we might encounter in the long and enduring journey of life. Our genomes are often pervaded by a multitude of errors, which manifest as a myriad of diseases, morbid for some, fatal for many. Assessing your predispositions could either lessen their intensity or prevent them altogether. Diabetes, stroke, cardiovascular diseases, and many other potential disasters can be mitigated with a mere cheek swab or a blood sample. Your genetic profile is compared with a reference genome, and any discrepancies, if found, are used to assess your predisposition for various diseases. This information is then translated into practical interventions for your life during genetic counseling sessions. Cancer, man's seemingly invincible foe, can also be combated with a powerful arsenal of preventive genomics. BRCA1 and 2 gene mutations lead to a 72% increased susceptibility for developing breast cancer. Screening for mutations in genes like KRAS, TP53, and EGFR can aid in early detection, a better prognosis, and specific treatment for many cancers. Realize the magnitude of the number of lives lost and envision the numbers which can now be saved. To spread awareness about preventive genomics, we conducted a seminar in our college explaining its fundamentals to our curious colleagues. These techniques are already being implemented in our own country by many innovative organizations. Pharmacogenomic labs have also been set up in government hospitals in our city. Realizing this potential, the government initiated the Indian Genome Variation Consortium, a nationwide program to map the genome of the Indian population and study gene disease associations. The quill has been yielded, the script composed, but the ink hasn't dried yet. Timely evaluation of these erroneous pages can prevent them from being transcribed.
Personalized healthcare is an extensive entity, ranging from cognitive behavioral therapy to diagnostic tests, including the omic assays that reveal people's unique characteristics at the molecular level. After reviewing literature and in order to know more about the current stand on personalization in healthcare, we prepared 2 separate questionnaires. After validation by a pilot study and receiving approval from the Institutional Ethics Committee, they were made available offline and online to aid accessibility. Our international survey, with the total population of 3,018, consisted of doctors, medical students, and the general public. According to our survey, more than 70% doctors felt that personalized healthcare would be more effective than advocating drugs by trial and error methods. A whopping 84% of doctors felt that personalization will improve the quality of life of their patients. An encouraging 94% of the general public we surveyed were willing to undergo additional tests if they could help select the most effective treatment. Like every coin has 2 sides, personalization also comes with its own share of limitations. 85% of doctors felt that time constraints due to patient load was the biggest hindrance in its implementation. Around 3/4 of the general public attributed additional costs, lack of awareness, and unavailability as the possible barriers in adopting this concept. In spite of this, 92% of doctors would like to acquire more knowledge and training in this field, and 64% feel that one day it would be possible to personalize healthcare for every individual. Dr. Purvesh Parekh precision oncologist, shares his views on the same.
So first, my challenge is with the wording that you are using. In the years to come, it has already come. So today, I am using techniques and tests to decide how to treat an individual patient, different from some other patient who might have the same disease and is at the same stage. So application exists today, and the percentage of patients who will benefit from that will continue to increase as we move forward. Once we get more information about the background genetic makeup of our population, then we will be able to make a better understanding.
Although we might think personalization involves only genomics, it's time to broaden our horizons and understand how personalization can save lives in many other ways.
For the valiant soldier who lost a limb serving his nation, for the victim of a horrific accident, sentenced to lifelong condemnation, there is hope. For the baby with a malformed heart, fighting for life, brave yet battered. For grandpa who hasn't taken a single step since his hip was shattered, there is hope.
This hope is embodied in two words: personalized devices. These devices are customized for every individual's requirements. Progressive healthcare today demands a transition from mass manufacturing to mass individualization, and 3D printing is pivotal in making this transformation a reality. Imagine your regular printer at home, but replace the document to be printed with radiographic scans, the ink with biocompatible materials, and the paper with scaffolding. Radiographic or laser scans are converted to a CAD file, which is then used to print a 3D object. And this is how, layer by layer, a fully functional, three-dimensional masterpiece is created. Our zest to discover more about this led us to India's largest 3D printing company, Imaginarium, and also Anatomist 3D Center, where we learned about the various techniques employed using state-of-the-art equipment. Feroza Kothari, a biotechnology engineer, tells us more about 3D printing in healthcare.
Any technology that comes in does take time before it is accepted by the market. In imaging itself, we started off with X-rays, we came up with CTs, then we came up with MRIs. All of this has taken about 40 to 50 years to get into the market, and that's what we are going to see 3D printing also getting in. Like right now, every patient who comes in either goes for a CT and MRI scan. That way we will see that along with these, a 3D model will also go ahead.
We designed and distributed informative pamphlets on the medical utilities of 3D printing among undergraduate medical students. The wide array of applications of this technology, ranging from personalized casts and dentures to organ models and prosthetics, have fascinated the entire medical community. 3D printed meshwork casts are lightweight, durable, easily detachable, and allow your skin to breathe. Patient-specific implants are a perfect fit, reducing post-operative complications and enhancing the quality of life. With the aid of 3D printed organ models, complex surgeries can be pre-planned, rehearsed, and executed to perfection. This has proven to be a miracle for babies born with the congenital heart defect. Pediatric cardiac surgeons like Dr. S.R. Mohanty explain how it helps them.
So this technology is fabulous in certain difficult cases where actually it gives you it's like a trailer before you have the real operation. So you can study the anatomy exactly as it is in the baby. To cite an example, I will give you the story of a 11-month-old baby we have recently operated. This baby has something called double outlet right ventricle with a smallish ventricular septal defect, which was difficult to baffle the left ventricle into the outer through this smallish ventricular septal defect. We did all kind of investigations from 2D echo to 3D echo, CT, MRI and angiography. Still we are not happy about the information we required, and we are not having enough courage to go and do the repair. So we went ahead with this 3D print, and we had the model. We studied the soft copy of that, and after studying that we realized that there was room to enlarge the VSD to make the tunnel quite unobstructed, which we actually achieved in the theatre.
Time is saved, possibilities are explored, and errors are eradicated by shielding such children with the armor of personalization.
The human body is a mesmerizing amalgamation of heart, nerve and sinew. Being able to recreate any part of this enigmatic marvel would be the pinnacle of progress for technology, medicine and indeed all of mankind. 3D bioprinting takes us a step closer to achieving this goal, utilizing bioinks and hydrogel-based scaffoldings to print live cells, tissues and eventually even whole organs. Today we can print corneas for transplantation, liver tissue for testing drugs, and skin grafts for burn victims. We can also print regenerated bones to free a traumatized accident victim from the shackles of immobility. The day is not far when a live beating heart can infuse life not only into that frail patient lying cold on the operation table, but also hope into the result of spring fervently. That day you would be holding in your hands not just an organ, but the very future of medicine.
Change, they say, is inevitable, and medicine is no exception to this universal truth. From the advent of anesthesia to robots repairing your body, from the serendipitous discovery of penicillin to our relentless combat with the resistant microbes, medicine has come a long way. The concept of personalization has also thrived in the same cradle, its applications seemingly infinite. Personalized diets, cross-matching for blood transfusion, tabulating doses as per weight, counseling sessions and palliative care are just a few examples of how personalization has always been an integral part of our healthcare system. Our unyielding quest to unravel the complexities of human life has given medical research the impetus it always deserved. Decoding our mystifying genome 2 decades ago seemed to be a leap beyond the puny feet of mankind. But we proved ourselves wrong. The Human Genome Project, our first attempt to read such a perplexing book, took 13 years and $2.7 billion. But today, it can be done in a matter of a few hours for just $1,000. Looking at these prices, we must take into account the impressive cost-benefit ratio and the fact that they will drastically go down in the near future. This rekindles the hope that personalization will soon get incorporated in every aspect of our healthcare. The pieces of infrastructure are falling into place. Diseases can be examined by their origins and not merely by the symptoms they encase. Saviors in white coats are linking their knowledge to a network of databases. We can finally restore the lost radiance to those pale and dejected faces. Customization is uniting technology with well-being. When every disease, every infirmity, every agony is foreseen, that day, personalized medicine will simply be called medicine. Thank you.